You're watching the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand.
Salah to settle it in front of the Kop.
Right, hello there everyone, welcome back to the Kop TV. We're now done with the fan cams and now it's me and my thoughts and my conclusions and my solutions on how to fix this monstrosity. I've heard people talk about certain individuals, I've heard people talk about how it can be the manager's fault, I've heard people complain about the size of the stadium, but I've heard loads of things today on the fan cams and I always try and think about how I can be positive coming onto the videos and, you know, try and become a little bit more sort of, okay, we can focus on it. Like the Ajax game, that was a really decent sound case study to be like, okay, that's a base, it's something we can build on, something for us to improve, and hopefully going forward, the results will match, the performances will improve. And I thought there was something in the Ajax game just today. The only positive that I am going to say is maybe the fact that we got 3 goals. I don't think that's something too much to take away because I think Brighton sat off a lot. I don't think defensively they were great. I thought Bobby was so composed for the 2 goals, and we obviously got the own goal as well. But outside of the goals we actually scored, it's the one thing I'll give us credit for. We were clinical, but we didn't necessarily create the high volume of chances, which has been our most efficient way of getting goals. You know, you give the chances to Salah, you give the chances to Darwin, and you hope they put it in the back of the net. Now we're relying on composure, we're relying on players being clinical, which is important, but to also emphasise the fact that volume's a big thing because it usually means you're dictating the game. I just didn't see that again today. Midfield, completely open. I can come up with analogies. I'm not really in like the analogy making mood. And I just think to myself, the midfield is just not being good enough. I thought Thiago was the worst of the bunch, which is why it's dead confusing, because I thought we were really good. And I thought Thiago was the man of the match against Ajax, and then today I thought he was the worst midfielder. I think Fabinho has been nothing but bang average in recent games. Henderson, he played it safe the way Henderson usually does. I was kind of confused not to see Harvey Elliott, and that was the number one thing. I'm not someone to always go at Jurgen Klopp, but I think on an individual basis, and a mistake that he made today was not starting the most explosive and the best players over recent weeks in Harvey Elliott and Luis Diaz, and I think that cost us. Defensively, I thought everyone was average, from Joel Matip, Virgil van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Kostas Tsimikas, multiple people who I kind of look at that situation where that's a good enough backline to not concede 3 goals against Brighton, and Brighton are a good team, but I just think, without trying to ramble and go in circles, I just think it's just not being good enough. Consistency is one huge thing, and that's why going forward, I think we just need to keep readjusting the expectations, and we're going through a transition. If we can win a couple of trophies during a transition, whether it's a cup, then boss. I don't think that's what we should be focusing on. I think Champions League revenue forget money, but the football club needs to worry about making sure we solidify that Champions League spot so we have the revenue to not only keep hold of the best players we've got now, but to bring in those new, very necessary faces in the midfield, in the defence. That's why I'm thinking, if we don't get Champions League, this could be a bigger issue in the short term than what we're all anticipating. I think we've got the best manager to sort us out. I don't think he's done it yet. I think the players are still not quite at it. I think we're starting every game really, really slow to where we're conceding goals, 2-0 down in the first 20 minutes, and you're leaving yourself on the back foot. That's not good enough if you want to be competing for league titles, and I'll say it now, and I'm fine to dispute this with anyone or have any debates or any arguments. I don't think we're in the title race. I don't think we're going to get back into it. I think it's very doable. I thought we were, last season, 13 points off the title. Come back last day, whatever. I think this season we've got a worse squad in terms of depth, and then on top of that, I think the best players of last year aren't playing to those same standards. Therefore, there is nothing based on logic to suggest that we are going to get back into this title race, and that's why you're just going to be getting, if you want to call it negative James, then call it negative James. I'm trying to be sensible. Positives, Alisson, boss. I think he's been unbelievable this season. Bobby Firmino, great. Again, unbelievable this season. I think that's someone that we need to look at signing a new contract for. The likes of Milner, Naby, Oxley, players who could be very well options for today to come on and make a difference, but aren't available. They're the ones who need to go, and they're the ones who need to be replaced. And it's not their fault for today specifically, but again, if you have a young, hungry midfielder who's there ready to fight for his place, I think that you get a better reaction, you get better decision making, and that's why I think we need to get ourselves a younger squad. You need to find the balance of experience and young players. Young players have got something to fight for. Experienced players, they've got experience to help the young players, and that's why starting James Milner or getting James Milner involved week in, week out confuses me, but I'm always open to people disagreeing with me in the comments down below. Let me know what you identify as the main problem. I think it's a little bit of everything. And yeah, mate, that's Liverpool 3, Brighton 3. Don't know how we get better from here. Hopefully we do. We're still going to be here, so keep smashing the likes. Anyway, this has been James, this has been the Kop TV, and I'll see you all in a bit. Peace out.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. Remember to like, comment and subscribe to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stands, for a lot more Liverpool content.
Remember to check out our Shopify store for this beauty and much more. It's the new Luchito's Way Diaz t-shirt based on Luis Diaz and Carlito's Way. It's out now, designed by Ruby.
And there's going to be so many more.
There is. Make sure you're involved. Go and buy this now and use the Kop TV 15 for a little discount if you want.